Hey everybody, we're going to be going over this week here the tabs that you can find in Microsoft Word, and what I'm going to be covering today is just the Home tab. And you can see inside this tab that it has different sections for each ability to play with primarily the font and the typical writing of your paper. I copied and pasted this from, let's see here, desiringgod.org, just a simple article on why we neglect our Bibles. And so, not to plagiarize, but just to show you the different things that you have available to you. Now, to start off, when we talk about changing fonts and paragraphs and styles and all this stuff, if I just click, let's just say I'm going to choose Broadway, it doesn't change anything. We need to make sure that what we want to change is selected. There's two ways. We can change individual parts, or we can go by line. If you see here just for a second that the arrow turns from pointing to the left to pointing to the right. That allows me to select whole sections, or whole lines, I should say. And so we're just going to select this title here, and we're going to just kind of walk through here. Font is what this looks like, okay? What style that the writing is happening. And you can, again, go through all of these. We could pick one. Let's go ahead and just have some fun here. Let's pick, let's go Gaudi Stout, okay? And as you can see here, it changed it so that it's so huge that it doesn't fit. Well, we could sit here, and this changes the size of the font to what we would like to use it as. Microsoft Word has a different feature that you can use here that allows you to decrease the font and increase it. And instead of me taking guesses, I can just click on that a couple times, and it shows it for me. We have bold, which makes it thicker. We have italicized, which makes it lean. And underline, simply put, puts a line, or there's other options, but puts typically one line under it. We have the strike through that just shows that you're crossing stuff off. When you're, again, whatever you are highlighting, it's going to affect. So let's just go ahead and highlight this Y. If we wanted to make it a subscript, as you can see there, if I click on that, it makes it below, or a superscript, it puts it up at the top. Simple things that deal with your font. Now, if you look here just for a second, all of this is in capitals. Microsoft Word added an option here that you can make it all sentence case, lowercase, uppercase. You can capitalize just each word, or you can toggle it back and forth. So if you can look here just for a second, okay, let's go Times New Roman, okay, then you can really see it. Okay, why we neglect our Bibles. You can see that it is all lowercase, and I can change that to sentence case. Just the first one is capitalized. You can see all of it's uppercase and just capitalizing each word, so on and so forth. And so if you're creating titles and you want to use a specific style and you forget, oh, I typed it all in uppercase, this allows you to fix it real quick instead of retyping it. Clicking on this option here takes away every formatting option that you've done and puts it back to Calibri, which is the a font that Microsoft Word starts with. And so I'm going to go ahead and undo that so you can see it. Again, whatever you select is what is going to be changed. So we have highlighter, and you can change the colors. You can say stop, no color, whatever. But if I don't select it, it's not going to happen. The other option we have here, last one, is color. And so, again, just if I click on this little arrow, I can get different options. This green's I like that green. And one of the neat things too, that wasn't around when I was in high school when I had to take my computer class, is when I select it, there's this little pop-up menu. So instead of having to come all the way up here and having to change it, it gives you the opportunity to change it really quick right here wherever you're working. All right, guys, so for the second section we're going to cover paragraphs now. And we're going to look at how these options here will affect your paragraph. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll around the article to a couple of different places and just to kind of see what happens here. Again, the same rules that we applied to fonts also applies to paragraphs, that nothing will change unless it is selected. However, the paragraph that your cursor, that's this blinking line right here, that's inside of the word Bible, wherever the cursor is what is going to be affected. So since it's a paragraph, it's going to ultimately affect the paragraph, as you just saw right there. So you want to make sure that your cursor is in the right spot. What I typically try to do is to make sure that I have everything highlighted that I want to be changed, and that way I know exactly what is going to be changed. So we're going to cover a couple things here. These 4 options down here are the alignment options. What we have right now is left align or align left, and what that means is everything is anchored, or the gravity is pulling everything to the left. And so you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and push enter so you can kind of separate this paragraph. You can see that everything is anchored to the left side. However, if I change it to the right, you can see how everything shifts over to the right side so that it's straight over here. And then obviously when you have center aligned, it means instead of the anchoring being to the left or to the right, we have an anchoring spot right in the middle, and it picks the middle for you. The last option, though, is what we call justified. And what that means is it distributes the text completely from one side to the other, making it straight on both sides. So when we click on this, okay, it's kind of taking what we would say is the left alignment and taking the right alignment, and it's making it as square as possible. In order to accomplish this, you'll see here, I'm going to click on it, that it changes the spacing between words. And you will find that it looks a little bit neater, looks a little bit fuller. But if you are turning in papers, let's say electronically to a teacher, they are going to look to see if you have all the right settings. And if you click justify, they might take some points off that. So if they say we want it left aligned or aligned left, then you need to make sure you have that taken care of. Another option you need to be aware of is the spacing of your paragraph. What this is this chooses how much space is between one line and the other. And so again, I want to select the paragraph that I want to change. Okay, single space is basically saying it's a little space, a little bit more, 1.5 times 2. 2 is typically what you will find that when you type an English paper, science paper, whatever paper you're typing, it must be double spaced. And there are other options you can do here. You can make it 3 and some other fun stuff. And again, if you saw what was happening there, it was only changing the paragraph that the cursor was in, not the whole document. If I wanted to change the whole document, I'd have to select everything that is inside of this document. Okay, and just to kind of give you an idea here, some other options that are in this category. We have what is known as the indent, or increase indent, or decrease indent. And if you have quotes or something along those lines, or you are making some bullet points, these indent buttons push the indent in one space. So if you were to push the tab button, it's the equivalent space that you would need. Now again, notice how it is only affecting the paragraph that the cursor is in. It's not affecting the ones below it. So again, it's affecting the whole paragraph here. Okay. We have next to that, we have if you wanted to select a certain background color just for the paragraph, it's kind of like highlighting, but it's just a little bit different in some of its uses. The next option that we can find here is at the top of this the paragraph section here. Again, you're not going to use borders, not going to use paint, but you will find yourself using these options at certain points. So when taking notes in, let's say, class, or making making lists of things. The bullets, if I just click on the bullet option, it will give me the default bullet. And if I want to change it, I can go in, I can define the new bullet, I can pick from the library that it offers me. I can change how it looks throughout there. So what happens is, let's just say I'm going to make each sentence a point here. And we find all the sentences. Okay, and that looks like one big sentence right there. And it all contains information pointing to this one point. So if I wanted to move it in to be under that one point, all I have to do is click the indent button. If I wanted to move back, I can move it back to I could remove that indent. Another cool option that Microsoft Word has put on here, let's just say, if we could imagine this was a list of everybody's names. What it would do is if I clicked on this, it sorts all my bullet points into alphabetical order. Okay? And so I can change it to ascending or descending. Let's click ascending here for a second. Okay? Ascending means it starts at the lowest and goes to the biggest. If I change that setting from ascending to descending, what do you think it would do? It would make it go from the last, and then it would go from W all the way to A. Okay? And then the same kind of concept works for 1s, 2s, and 3s. Okay, so those are our bulleted points. Go ahead and make those bulleted again. Okay? If I change it, the numbers, same thing happens there. I can even pick how I want to change it. If I want ABC, the Roman numerals, and then you can change the number values if you want to, and different things like that. And it doesn't matter what order it's in. Okay, it's still going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will automatically put it in alphabetical order for me there. This last little option I want to show you guys is called the paragraph button. Okay, and what it shows you is how many times you have hit the paragraph button. It also shows you where a tab has been used. Okay, so this is the paragraph button right here, 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 here. Paragraph means every time that I pushed enter. You also see these little arrows. That means every time that tab is used, or that a tab is being used by a list. Okay, so that is home, the home tab, and I hope you guys figured some things out there. And we're going to move on to the next section in the next video.